procedure or go through quality what? So the emphasis is that you don't expect a product to become of quality, to be of quality, without emphasizing on the process. This is important in software development, as some product quality attributes are hard to assess. However, there is a very complex and poorly understood relationship between software processes and product quality. Process-based quality. There is a straightforward link between the process and the product in manufactured goods. More complex for software because the application of individual skills and experience is particularly important in software development. External factors such as the novelty of an application or the need for an accelerated development schedule may impair product quality. Care must be taken not to impose inappropriate process standards. These could reduce rather than improve the product quality. So, process-based quality. You define the process, then develop the product, assess the product. Is the quality okay? If it is okay, then similar standardize the process. If it is not okay, you go back to the development of the product. So this is just the flow of the development process. Practical process quality. Define process standards such as how reviews should be conducted, configuration management, etc. Monitor the development process to ensure that standards are being followed. Report on the process to project management and software. Procure. Don't use inappropriate practices simply because standards have been established. Quality assurance and standards. Quality assurance and standards. Standards are the key to effective quality management. They may be international, national, organizational, or project standards. Product standards define characteristics that all components should exhibit, e.g. a common programming style and so on. Process standards define how the software process should be enacted. Importance of standards. Why do we have standards? One, encapsulation of best practice. Avoid this repetition of past mistakes. They are a framework for quality assurance processes. They involve checking compliance to standards. They help guide the development process. The procedure to follow if you are to attain quality. They provide continuity. New staff can understand the organization by understanding the standards that are used. Products and process standards, you read through that one. Problems with the standards. They may not have been seen as relevant and up to date by software engineers. They often involve too much bureaucratic form filling. If they are unsupported by software tools, it's tedious manual. Work is often involved. Some of these you read through. I don't need the international standard organization certifications which we follow. I think some, international. Documentation is part of also important. Quality process. Documents are the tangible manifestation of the software. They help in the maintainability. They also to enforce the development process to be of good standards. So there should be documentation of your staff, your work. Document identification standards, how documents are uniquely identified, document structure standards, document presentation standards, document up-to-date standards are very important. Also document interchange. Some of these you will read through. Quality planning. A quality plan sets out the desired product qualities and how these are assessed and defines the most significant quality attributes. The quality plan should define the quality assessment process. How will you assess the quality? It should set out which organizational standards should be applied and where necessary define new standards to be used. Quality plan structure, you look at the product introduction, product plans, process description, quality goals, risks and risk management. Quality plan should be short, succinct documents. If they are too long, no one will read them and understand them. Software quality attributes. I think the other time I had asked you to outline the qualities of good software. Qualities of good software. I think you wrote them down, qualities of good software. And we are having here software quality attributes: safety, security, reliability, resilience, robustness, understandability, testability, adaptability, modularity, complexity, portability, usability, reusability, efficiency, and learnability. All these are attributes of quality software. Quality control. This involves checking the software development process. So monitoring. Under quality control, there should be monitoring. So it involves checking the software development process to ensure that procedures and standards are being followed. That is quality control. Are you ensuring that the right procedure is being followed in the development process of a software. That is quality control. There are two approaches to quality control. We've got quality reviews, and we have got automated software assessment and software measurements. Those are the two approaches to quality control. Quality reviews is the principal method of validating the quality of a process or of a product. That is a quality review. You need to check whether this file complies with the standards, has the qualities that this should conform to. So that is the quality review. The group examines part or all of a process or system and its documentation, find potential problems. There are different types of review with different applications. We have the inspection for defect removal. We have reviews for progress assessment, and we have got quality reviews. All these are very important. So, review type, design or program inspection. I mean, you are developing software, and it is important to inspect that the design was well done. And what is the purpose of design or program inspection? To detect detailed errors in the requirements, design or the code. A checklist of possible errors should drive the review. Then progress reviews. To provide information for management about the overall progress of the project. This is both a process and a product review and is concerned with the costs, plans, and schedules. So quality reviews. To carry out a technical analysis of product components or documentation, to find mismatches between the specifications, and because with the quality you are looking at whether the product conforms to the specifications that were made at the end. So when you are looking at quality review, you are comparing the specifications and the product. What specifications were defined at the beginning and establishing whether the product has got those specifications. A group of people, in quality reviews, a group of people carefully examine part or all the software system and its associated documentation. The code, designs, specifications, test plans, standards, etc. can all be removed. Software or documents may be signed off at a review, which signifies that progress to the next development stage has been approved by management. It is a long process. Some of these review processes are detailed, like there's quality functions. They are part of the general quality management process. Project management function, they provide information for project managers. Training is part of the quality process, because if software is developed by people who are not well trained, you know there's a risk on the quality of the product, isn't it? If it is developed by less informed or people who are less knowledgeable. So emphasizing your training is part of ensuring the quality of a product. The objective of quality reviews is the discovery of system defects and inconsistencies. I mean, it is like checking on the process, whether you are doing the right thing. Any documents produced in the process may be reviewed. Review teams should be relatively small, and reviews should be fairly short. Records should always be maintained of quality reviews. Because we said quality is a process, so you will have to do a lot during the development process. At every level, we need to be checking whether we are on track. Because if we move far ahead, correcting general becomes hard. It's better the quality process, the quality management process moves together with the development process. If the quality management is already done at the end, it will be too late to correct an error. Comment made during the review should be classified. There are some comments where you say no action. So there should be, that means no change to the software or documentation is required. There are sometimes you make comments like refer for repair. It means the designer or programmer should correct and identify the fault. There is where a comment will be reconsider overall design. You understand? That comment is not a simple one. The problem identified in the review impacts other parts of the design. Some overall judgment must be made about the most cost-effective way of solving the problem. If you say consider overall design, that is a major comment. Requirements and specification errors may have to be referred to the client. Software measurement and metrics. Software measurement is concerned with deriving a numeric value for an attribute of a software product. This allows for objective comparisons between techniques and processes. Although some companies have introduced measurement programs, most organizations still don't make systematic use of software. There are a few established standards in this area. Software, any type of measurement which relates to software system, process, or related documents is called software metric. Lines of code in a program, the fork index, number of persons, days required to develop a component, allow the software and the software process to be quantified. May be used to predict product attributes or to control. These somehow you may read through during your time. So, internal and external attributes, maintainability, reliability, portability, usability, all these are key in the software product. They are key attributes in the software product. The measurement process. A software measurement process may be part of a quality control process. Data collected during this process should be maintained as an organizational resource. Once a measurement database has been established, comparisons across projects become very possible. Product measurement process. Data collection. A metric program should be based on a set of product and process. Yes. You are not what? Hey, you are not seeing the slides. Oh, are you online? You're online, nothing is changing. Even now. Now you are seeing. Sorry. The man is both physical and online. Must be paying fees twice. So I think I was in the presentation mode. When you go to the presentation mode, sometimes it doesn't appear. So you have, when you in that mode, you have to, what is that? It says you have to share. Now you are not seeing. Sorry. I didn't know. So data collection, I mean, we are talking of data collection during quality processes. Because there's a need to establish how the development process is going on. Enforcement, the key thing is enforcement of quality. But what guides you in the development process, or what guides you during the quality reviews are standards, the standards which have to be followed. I'm sure, for example, if we are developing software, those of you who have done programming or software development might have gone through principles of software development. Can you outline some of the principles of software development, or the main programming principles? Okay, let me talk about what are the programming principles. I want everybody to write them down. Just get a pen and write down what the programming principles are. Just give you 3 minutes. What are the programming principles? Wizi, being software engineering. Okay, you can explain principles. Because these online people have to hear software engineering principles, or we call them what? Software or programming principles. What should they be? So you are called who?
Sunday Abraham.
Sir?
Sunday Abraham.
Sunday Abraham would like to split the atom. We'll just stand here and be able to.
So the software engineering principles. Number one is KISS.
Okay?
KISS. It's keep it simple, stupid.
KISS.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And keep it simple,
Stupid.
and stupid. That is one software engineering principle or programming principle.
It means that you should be writing your code as simple as possible.
Yes.
One of the rules of basic programming is never get caught up in trying to be overly clever or showing off with the big block of advanced code.
So if you don't keep your, we want to ensure that your code is made simple and stupid. Okay, another.
Write dry code. Write dry code.
Write dry code. Get closer to that machine so they can hear.
It means like don't repeat your dry code computer programming principle. This means plainly not repeating the code. It's a common mistake in writing the code. Avoid duplication of data or logic. If you have ever copied and pasted the code within a program, it's not a dry code.
Avoid the repetition of what?
Of the code. So instead of duplicating lines, try to find an algorithm that uses loop instead. The dry code is easy to maintain, it's easy to debug. One loop that handles 50 repetitions, then 50 block of codes that handle one repetition each. So the third one is open, stroke, closed.
Open, stroke, closed.
Yeah. This principle of programming means that we should aim to make your code open to extensions but not closed to modifications. This is important principle when releasing a library or framework that others will use. For example, suppose you are maintaining a GUI framework, you should release a version of code as directly modify and integrate your release code. When happens, you will release a major update 4 months later, though their code will break. This will likely make your cohorts very unhappy. They won't want to use your library for much longer, no matter how helpful it may be in its heyday. Instead, release code that prevent direct modification and encourage extension. The fourth one is composition over inheritance. If you write your code using oriented programming, you are going to find this principle of programming to be very useful. The composition over inheritance principle states objects with complex behaviors should contain instances of objects with individual behaviors. So they should not inherit a class or add a new behavior. Relying on inheritance causes two major issues. First, inheritance can get messy in hurry. You also have less flexibility for defining specific case behaviors. Let's say you, let's say that you want to implement the behaviors to share. And this one is a diagram. I can't explain this. So let's. The fifth one is a single responsibility. The single responsibility principle states that class or module in programming in the program should only provide specific functionality. Classes and modules often start off this way. Be careful not to add too many responsibilities as classes get more complex. So they refactor and break them up into smaller classes and modules. The consistency of overloading classes in its twofold. First, it complicates debugging when you are trying to isolate a certain module for troubleshooting. Second, it becomes more complex to create additional functionality for a specific module. A good programming principle prevents these problems before they become problems to deal with. The sixth one is separation of concerns. The separation of concerns is an abstract version of the single responsibility principle. This idea states that a program should be designed with different containers, and these containers should not have access to each other. Now, for example, the code that handles database does not need to know how to render the data in the browser. The rendering code takes input from the user, but the logic code does not handle the processing. Each piece of code is completely independent. The seventh one is you are not going to need it. That's how it's written. This principle means you should never code for functionality on the off chance that you may need something in the future. One of the most important principles of computer programming to learn is you shouldn't try to resolve problems that don't exist or doesn't exist. In the effort to write dry code, programmers they're sleeping.
No, I'm listening. The
Programmers may violate this principle. Often, inexperienced programmers try to write the code abstract and generally that they can. Too much abstraction causes blooded code that is impossible to maintain. Let me just go to the 8. Document your code with
documentation.
Documentation with all this stuff. It can be the other side who may eventually be getting into the code themselves. Any senior developer will stress the importance of documenting your code with the proper comments. All the languages offer them, you should habit to write them. Leave the comment to explain the object, enhance the variable definitions, and make functions easy to understand or easier. Refactor number 9. It's hard to accept, but your code hasn't been going perfect the first time. Refactoring code means reviewing your code and looking for ways to optimize, making it more efficient while keeping the result exactly the same. Number 10, clean code at all costs, clever code. When you say this, we means the kind of code that looks more readable than the solution. You are not coding to impress strangers. You are in this profession to solve problems.
Software development. So the key points to note are software quality management is concerned with ensuring that software meets its required standards. I mean, when you come up with a software product, there are technical people who will be able to tell whether you followed the development standards, okay? Checking you. So make sure those required standards are followed. Quality assurance procedures should be documented in an organizational quality manual. Software standards are an encapsulation of best practices. Follow best what? Practices. Whenever you are doing something, make sure you follow the guidelines, follow the principles that you studied. If you are developing a database, are you following the database design principles? You get me? If you are developing a website, did you follow the website development principles? Did you read about them? Is there any standard that you follow? Because at some point they might ask, which standard did you follow? Which procedure did you follow? What guidelines did you refer to? How did you do the coding? And you see, software standards are an encapsulation of the best practices. Mind about best practices. Reviews are the most widely used approach for assessing software quality. You keep reviewing. Look at the product. You know, a product, we get a sub-product. Along the way, when you are developing a product, there is a final product, but a partial what? Is that partial product meeting the quality we need? Okay. We are talking of documentation. Are you documenting? It is part of quality process. Okay. Are you ensuring that the man talked of kiss? It was standing for what? Keep what? Keep it simple. You had for yourselves there. So software measurement gathers information about both the software process and the software product. You have to gather information about the software process and the product itself. Product quality metrics should be used to identify potentially problematic components. There are no standardized and universally applicable software metrics, but at least you need to follow some stipulated guidelines. I'll send you some more information. Oh. See. So, quality control is conformity to consumers' requirements. There should be a quality plan, adapting to standards to be used in the life cycle. quality control, quality system, differentiate between the quality control, quality system, quality management, total quality management. The quality systems is a means of applying common sense to your business operations in order to get consistent results. And with the quality systems, the people dependent, and it involves the doing things right the first time. Do things right the first time. You know, you need to do things right the first time, because if you do things right later and you do wrong things first, there will be a problem in the quality. You need to do right things first, because you will continue with the right things. But if you do wrong things first, you will continue with wrong things. If you are preparing something and you include a wrong ingredient, what do you like most? What do you like eating most? Commando. No, okay, just frying an egg. We gave that example. And you remember salt is put in at first. So will you be able to change anything later? If there is too much salt, you'll not be able to change it. It is better to do the right thing first, because correcting later becomes very difficult. You might get reviewers saying, giving the other big comment, redesign. Go back and redesign the what? Do things the same way every time, no matter who is doing them. Do things the same way every time, no matter who is doing them. You get the point? If we want quality, you should do the same thing. So long as you are doing the right thing, do the same thing every time, no matter who is doing it. We don't do things based on another person doing it. If we are doing something and we are meant to do it in a certain way, it should be done the same way every time, no matter who is doing it. Having an established, well-considered procedure for handling and correcting problems. Establishing and implementing procedures to standardize the methods by which all functions are done. When a process is right, the process and care will be right. Quality management means you have got a quality system within your organization, and this consists of statement of the objectives and policy. Quality of the product of the services being offered, the management of quality control, quality assurance, the keeping of resources, the maintenance of standards, and the identification of individuals responsible for the various tasks. Identify individuals responsible for the various tasks. After getting quality management, you get total quality management. This implies everybody concerned about quality is in every area of activity, and there is continuing improvement. If you need to develop a quality plan, you need to have the following: drawing up a quality policy statement, establishing an appropriate organizational structure for managing and encouraging the development of quality, collecting information about the operations of the business, such as cause of poor quality. What could be the causes of poor quality? Because you want to avoid poor quality in your process, you should know the causes of poor quality. Areas where improvement will have a greater impact: preparing plans and actions, continued education, training, and communication within the organization. Continuing education, training, and communication within the what? Don't just keep silent and think, things will move automatically. Forget. Things will not come by chance. Prayers in this world work, but they are not enough. Prayers should be accompanied with what? Actions. Don't lie us around. Just pray only. You are praying for miracles. You are trying to be so religious, but that is not what it is. You know, some people confuse these books of these religious books. They confuse around, isn't it? Because they say God rewards. God blesses the work of your hands, isn't it? God blesses the work of your. I think that is that statement there in the book. What does it mean? Yeah? For those who know that book, I don't know how it is written in the Quran. Yeah? What?
Means you take action, then outcome.
So it means that if you want blessings, work. As you are working, that is how God will do what? Will bless you. Not by just the hands are like this, and then you ask for blessings. Isn't it? So some people read some of these books upside what? Down. If you want blessings, work for the blessings. Because if you are not coming to class to study, blessing. God bless me, God bless me. God will not bless you. You are not revising, you are not reading. How will He bless you? Has enough money. Doesn't have money. So please monitor quality, checking or reviewing work as it progresses. Testing the finished products also is important. Yes, please. Pardon? I'm through. What's the time now? This man is hungry. I was just summarizing, but I will get you more material. Thank you for attending. You have go for your lunch. Meet next week. Kengeni, Oponyo, Kapano, Kampire. Have a good afternoon.